back in action. So I just got done putting the turbos back in. All good, right? All good. Marcus giving me the thumbs up. It's actually pretty cool here tonight. Just warming up. You can see the E85 burning. But Dusty is back, and that's what's important. If you've never done a set of turbos on one of these cars, man, it is an absolute bear in the car. Let me rephrase that. If you pull the motor, it's actually not that bad, but in the car, it's probably one of the more difficult turbo installs. I would say it's this and the Z32. I don't know how Roberto does them, but he does them. But second time doing these, I think it gets easier after you do them a couple times, but it's still always, there's like pain in the butt parts that you have to do, like the little fittings for the coolant. That's just so impossible to get to, one little micro turn at a time. So either way, got it done. That's the important part. So now we're just gonna let her warm up, burping the coolant system, getting that all set up. I gotta put my strut bar back on and do that. For those of you who don't know about Dusty, Dusty is a full HKS build with every little HKS part I can get on it, besides V-cam, and it's not a stroker either. She's a stock bottom end, but HKS 2530s and HKS fuel rail, got a blow-off valves, the dual blow-off valves, the intake, the charge pipes, intercooler, cams. They're 272 cams, as you can hear. And there's a lot of good stuff on this car. I got my HKS jacket just for credibility. We love HKS. You already know that. But the dual blow-off valves are pretty cool. I like that. It's a really different setup. Fuel rail, injectors. It's got a Haltech ECU. That's one of the only things that's not HKS, but honestly, it's a good ECU. I'm running E85, so I need the flexibility and stuff like that. So that's the basics for Dusty. Oh, it's got the Brembo upgraded brakes. Some of you guys are already like bored with this because I've showed it so many times. But for those of you who haven't seen it yet, this is my sled. Dusty's a bad little bitch. Caro seat. Got the Volk wheels, your VRG2s, and what else? Got a Hyper Twin XZE clutch. Pretty much it. That's the gist of it. Anywho, I'm gonna continue warming her up, get the coolant system burped, and then I'll take her for a drive a little later. But for now, I need to eat. I'm tired. So I got Dusty out. I decided to take her for a spin, get things moving. I've got my Haltech out, and I am also going to be approaching the boost slowly. Listen to those brakes. I have the boost set at 0% duty cycle, so one of the things that I forgot to mention, I upgraded the wastegate actuators in the process of upgrading it or rebuilding the turbos. The old actuators were like factory actuators that I had jacked up to the maximum with some springs and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I went ahead and upgraded the actuators so that we can adjust the boost appropriately. And I set them pretty tight. I set them for about 20 PSI. So I put the boost controller settings at 0, so that way I can see what the spring's gonna actually get me. So these turbos, in case anybody's interested in getting a set of these are the HKS 2530s, and they are by far my favorite turbos turbo for a stock motor. It's a good turbo for a mild build. They're capable of clearly over 600 horsepower, as Dusty's making about 630 to the wheel on our dyno, which at the motor, we're talking over 700. So don't sleep on these turbos. So this car, another thing I forgot to mention earlier, it has the Zeal coilovers, which is kind of a high-end brand from Japan. Old school stuff. It's all period correct. We're cruising now. Temperature's good. Oil pressure's good. Everything looks right. We're just going to let these turbos kind of find their home. I don't want to push them real quick, but I will be pushing them shortly. I'd like to see on the wastegates, I'd like to see about 20 psi. That's where I set them up for, and then I turn them up to where I had them before from there. So I'm also running a full titanium Tomei exhaust with a Mines front pipe. Gives a very unique sound. All good. Everything feels nice. So I'll continue cruising it for a little bit, just making sure that no hoses pop off yet or anything like that, because that's always the biggest nightmare. After all the piping that I've done on this car, one of those hoses pops off and I'll be pissed, to say the least. Sorry I don't have more light in here. I know it's not easy to see what's going on, but better than nothing. Diesel bro over here. I can hear these turbos going back and forth. I did it before, but it's nice to hear that again. When these turbos were worn out, it wasn't doing that. It wasn't doing anything. So it's nice to have Dusty back. I miss Dusty. Hope you guys miss Dusty too. I know you guys miss Dusty. A lot of you were asking me about it. Not sure where I'm going to go with this car next. If everything stays okay, probably just run it like this for a while. I really want to do the PPG sequential tranny, and that's just expensive stuff. So it's going to take me a while to get to that point. But that's realistically my next goal for this thing. That'll give me a good upgrade from where I'm at. Not sure how much more this transmission is going to take. I've been beating the hell out of it for years, and well, it's original, so it has locking LSDs in the front and rear also. So this is just a really heavy drivetrain setup. I have a controller here for the center diff so that I can dial in more front traction, and it needs it. As soon as I'm ripping through first, second, and third, gotta dial in that front traction and keep it from breaking loose. It does break loose in second gear from a roll, all four tires. So the car's very light. It's got carbon doors and a bunch of weight reduction. HICUS is gone. ABS is gone. A lot of weight has been taken out of the car. It still has AC though, so it's a street car. Anyway, I'm gonna keep cruising. I'm in traffic, so don't get to have any fun right now, but stay tuned for the next one.